Good morning. Want to ride to work with me this morning? This will be my second driving to work while talking video. I'm going to share some thoughts. Memento Mori means remember death. Of course, it's talking about remembering that you die, remembering your death, that you die. In other words, your earthly life, of course, is finite. You have an end date. Your body has an expiration date. Of course, 99.9% of us don't know when that date would be. Some people have seen their own death, what have you, or have an idea when it is, but most of us really don't know. And of course, there are, some people, the doctor tells them they're going to die from some disease and they got 6 months to live or some bullshit. And of course, if you believe that, that can be possible for you. The great Neville Goddard, the mystic of, he lived to what, 1970, I believe it was? He knew when he was going to die, not the exact day or even week, but he knew he was dying, and he said he was ready to go. And he died, passed away. But the point is to remember your death, and I even have a tattoo on my face, a Memento Mori tattoo on the side of my face, because I like that concept. I like that idea that you realize, you know what? You only have so much time in this life, even though you're an eternal being, an eternal consciousness, an eternal spirit or soul, an extension of the one mind, a point of awareness or focus of the one mind. All people are. You have, of course, a limited amount of time. So, do you want to waste your time? Neville Goddard talked about a dream his wife had, and it said, don't spend time, you invest your time. So you want to spend your time wisely, or don't even want to spend it. Don't think of it as spending, but think of it as experiencing, because that's all we are. We're eternal consciousness experiencing, and we're experiencing through the different human characters that we all are, the avatars that we are in this lucid dream-like, video game-like, Matrix-like, Earth-human game. So, Memento Mori to me, remembering my death, is to remind me that I want to get the most out of each day in my life, and each moment in my life, and I don't want to waste my time on bullshit. There's one guy that teaches about metaphysics on YouTube, and he uses the example of the light bulbs. He doesn't waste his time changing light bulbs in his life, that is to do things that aren't interesting to him. He knows that the universe, or the universal mind, or God, or the all, has people that can do those things. There are those that teach metaphysics that talk about they don't do anything they don't want to do. And let me try to explain that. Let me do it this way. On the back of my truck, I have stickers. I have this sticker fetish. I collect stickers of different sorts, bumper stickers and things like that. I also collect flags and patches, but anyway. So I have a sticker that says whatever. And I have another one that has the acronym for I don't give a fuck. And I have a tattoo that says fuck it. And that's always been basically my attitude, or this human character's attitude through my life. Metaphysics has actually helped me to master that mentality. I wouldn't say I've mastered it. I'm always working on getting better at the things that are enjoyable to me. And of course, practicing metaphysics in my mind and living life from the metaphysical point of view and the mystical point of view is very enjoyable to me. But I don't waste my time thinking or worrying about things that I can't change. We've all heard the Serenity Prayer. My mother had it on a plaque growing up. God, give me the strength or something like that, the knowledge to know, I totally messed it up anyway, to change the things that you can change, and to know the difference between the things you can do something about and those that you can't. So, and as you learn in metaphysics, you learn that you can change your focus, your awareness on what you want things to be, how you want them to be, what you want to manifest, to happen in this life, to have in this life. Those things that you just don't know how to get. Manifesting is not about getting things that you already know how to get or can get or experience. It's for those things that you just don't know how, or you can't, and nothing comes to mind. Well, manifesting, once you go into the awareness that that thing is already done. You've gone to the end, as Neville Goddard used to talk about. It's already done. It's like a done deal. You already got that new car you want. You already got that money you want. You've already taken that trip you want to take. You already got that healing in your body you want. Whatever it is, you already fulfill yourself, knowing that all things are within you. Everyone talks about in manifesting, in the manifesting cyberspace on the internet, people talk about it's all within you. It's not outside, and they're right. What do they mean by it's all within you? Is that you are nothing but consciousness. So everything is within you. That's why you can't desire something that you can't have. Well, if you desire something, it's yours. Maybe you need to get a little clearer about what it is, get some kind of a clearer focus in your mind of what it is you want. And sometimes you can stay general, it doesn't matter. But if you feel, just give yourself fulfillment, I already have it, because it exists within mind, within imagination, within consciousness. So simply become consciously aware that you have that thing already. And if there's anything that you need to do, any ideas or knowledge or inspiration that you need, it'll come to you. Don't worry about it. You ain't got to try to force anything out or think anything out. If there's something you desire and you can't just obviously just go get it or go do it, then what you do is you just fulfill yourself anyway, that you already have it. And then if there's any ideas or if there's anything anybody needs to do for you, the weather needs to change, whatever has to happen in nature, whatever has to happen with people, whatever has to happen with you will happen. Period. Now that is very comforting. And it helps you to not stress or waste your time worrying about things you don't know how to do. And it also helps you to not worry about trying to do things you just don't want to do. Now, let me do a little caveat here. Let's say you hate to wash dishes. You just don't like to wash dishes. But you like to have a clean kitchen. Then the washing of the dishes is not so miserable to you because of the end goal. Muhammad Ali used to say he hated the whole training and the working out, the push-ups and all that kind of stuff, but he loved the fighting. He loved the sport of boxing. So don't misunderstand. There may be some things that you have to do. Maybe you don't like to go to the grocery store, but you sure like to cook or you like to eat. So it's all one thing, right? So don't worry about that. When I'm talking about changing light bulbs is that you don't want to change is doing the things that just are not, that have nothing to do with you going towards the goal that you want. Like Muhammad Ali wanted to be able to be a good boxer and be in the boxing ring, so he went to the training that he hated. If you want a clean kitchen or clean house, but you hate cleaning, but you're doing something to get you what you want, so you don't suffer as bad. How about that? It's not as miserable to you because you see the end goal. But changing light bulbs themselves, or doing things, I don't mean literally changing light bulbs, but doing things that just are not meant for you in the first place, you'll know. Okay? I hope you can understand. I can't think of a real good, like working on cars. You don't like to work on cars at all, or you don't know how to work on cars. That's my case. Believe it or not, I'm an ex-truck driver, drove trucks for years. Now I just operate equipment. I've operated equipment off and on for years. Now I just operate heavy equipment. All right, but I am not mechanically minded whatsoever. I'm driving my pickup truck here, but I am not mechanically. I mean, I can change a tire, change a battery, but I don't give a shit, never have given a damn about how vehicles work or, working on them or anything like that. It's never been my thing. Okay, so that's a light bulb I don't change. So there are people out there that love to work on vehicles, or they're good at working on vehicles, so you have the money to pay them, or you can trade, you barter, you do something for them, or you have something to trade them for whatever. That's what I'm getting at with the light bulbs. Now, let me switch again. Let me switch streams again. Horses in the midstream. You've heard the little ditty we learn as kids. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. This earthly life is but a lucid dream. And we come here with the fall of man, the fall of Adam in the Bible, the fallen Lucifer, the fallen angel Lucifer. It's simply we are spirits with, as people put it, amnesia. We forgot that we are God ourselves, that we are perfect. There's nothing to fix, nothing to repair. You're not broken. You're not a sinner, born a wicked, evil sinner out of your mother's womb and come into this world and you need a savior. That's all bullshit. Yes, you make mistakes. Yes, you may do bad things in your life. But you can change all of that. Let's go back to the stream concept. It is said that a man never steps in the same river twice. Even though he may step in that river in the same spot on the ground, the water itself is always changing. So, you're in that boat. You row gently. You don't force anything in your mind. You don't force anything physically. You don't try to figure things out and force things out to manifest. You row your boat gently. That stream of thought. And water in mysticism represents thought and mind and consciousness. You walk on the water like Jesus did. It's your thought. It's your consciousness. You float with ease. You gently row your boat down the stream. Merrily, 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 said 3 times, life is but a dream. So when you realize this, I've had to awaken, and I've got a video titled Life is Not a Struggle, is I had to learn that life is not a struggle. Not finances, not to have health, not to find the right person to be in a relationship, romantic relationship, a marital relationship with. You don't have to struggle with other people. You don't have to struggle and fight nothing. It is an illusion because of our fallenness, our amnesia. We're in this world to experience, so we have to have some resistance. If there was no resistance, the tires on this truck wouldn't go anywhere. You wouldn't be able to walk. You wouldn't be able to swim in the water. Went swimming last weekend. You won't be able to do these things. Even an airplane that seemingly is floating in the air, or a helicopter, there's resistance. So, on the blades and the wings and things to give it lift and all that kind of stuff. So you have to have a resistance in this world to experience. There's all but one mind, and there is no time. All is now. All is one thing. There's temperature, but then there are degrees of temperature. There is taste, and then there's bitter and sweet. Okay, in this world, we are experiencing things, people describe it as being slowed down or more dense. And what they're describing there is that the oneness, I like to use the example of the bubble gum in your mouth, where you take the gum and you stretch it out, hold it in your teeth, and you stretch it out with your hand, and it's all still one piece of bubble gum, but you have now, instead of one simple wad of bubble gum, you have it stretched out and you have an end and another end. You have polarity. So you can see the extremes of the temperature of heat and cold and the degrees in between. Light and dark, bitter and sweet. heavy and light. Male and female are expressed in this world. All of these seemingly dualities, but yet all things are one. So, even people talk about non-binary as far as their sexuality goes, their gender goes. Well, in reality, everything is non-binary. In the eternal now, in the one mind, everything is one. But in this dual world, seemingly dual world, things are stretched out. So we can experience contrast. We have to have contrast. Therefore, we can experience things, and we can experience good, evil, cold, heat, bitter, sweet, etc., etc. And we seemingly have forgotten that. But as Manly P. Hall, who studied all the mystery schools, Rosicrucianism, Hermeticism, and all the different mystery schools of Babylon, ancient Babylon, Egypt, Greece, all the way up to today, Freemasonry, etc. He summed it all up in saying that the ideal of man, the whole teaching of all the mystery schools, is for man to awaken that he is God while he's still alive and as man. Because when you die, you're going to realize you're nothing but what we call God, or eternal awareness. Now let's go back to the time thing, and eternity. There is only the eternal now. There's only now. There is no yesterday, and there is no tomorrow. If you went in a time machine and went to the past or went to the future, there would only be that now. There is only now. You can experience only now. Just like you can only experience one awareness or conscious awareness in your mind now. You can experience a conscious awareness that you're ill, or that you're healthy, that you are in poverty, or that you have financial abundance. You can only experience happiness or sadness. You can only, it's like they talk about, you can only experience one form of pain in your body. Like if you have if you stubbed your toe and smashed your finger with a hammer at the same time, the one that's the most extreme pain, of course, is the one that's going to get the focus. So you can only put your awareness on one thing at a time, as far as your awareness of that thing. Whether it's your financial standing, your bodily health, and or anything else in between, any kind of thing in life. You can only experience having the bicycle you want or not having the bicycle you want in your conscious awareness. So you can only look at one end of the stick or the graph or the other. The one end of the bubble gum stretched out or the other. So you choose what conscious awareness you're going to have. Even if your bank account says this or whatever. It looks like you don't have the money for this, or don't have the money to pay this bill, or to do this thing, or whatever. You focus and say, I'm consciously aware I have it anyway. Let's go back to Memento Mori. Life is too goddamn short. It has an expiration date. Your earthly life, your human character that you're playing, has an expiration date. Yes, you will most likely reincarnate over and over and have these fun experiences over and over. But the one you're playing, the character you're playing right now, the avatar that you're playing right now, has an expiration date. And even if you're going to live, you're a vampire and you live 500, 600 years, okay? The point is, you still have an expiration date. And why would you want to suffer and be miserable anyway? Even if you could live for thousands of years at a time. Why would you want to waste your time today, just this day, because there is only now? Why would you want to waste your time focusing on the miserable end of the stick, or the reality, the conscious awareness of the reality you don't want? Why would you continue to focus on how you don't have money, or don't have health, or are lonely? Go ahead and focus, and just focus the awareness that you already have the things that you want, because they exist within you. Again, you can't desire anything that you can't have, because the desire wouldn't even arise if it wasn't possible for you. So you desire a thing. Again, you can be general or you can be specific. That depends on you and what the thing is. You can say, I need a good job. I just want a good job. Or there's a specific job you really, really want. Okay? I need a good car. Or there's a specific vehicle you want. Okay? So it depends on you and depends on the thing. but you have the conscious awareness that you already have that thing, because you do. If you have the desire for it, you have the fulfillment for it at the same time. But in this world, things are stretched out, so we experience a desire and then a fulfillment. Okay? So we desire it. The thing of it is, you don't want to stay in desire, the state of desire, too long to the point that it makes you miserable. In Buddhism, it talks about desire makes you miserable. You suffer because of desire. The only reason you're suffering is because once you feel the desire upon you, go ahead and accept it as fulfilled, because you know it's your reality. You know it's possible, even if you don't know how, even if it looks impossible right now. That's why Neville Goddard would say, would talk about the Bible verse that says, he would say, when a desire comes upon you, we have arrived at my place of employment. We have traveled down the asphalt river. Okay. Now, he would quote the scripture, today's a day of salvation. And he would say, don't, because he's seen the Bible as just a mystical book, like Aleister Crowley did. And he didn't see it literally. I did for almost 38 years. I no longer see the Bible literally. I just see it as another book full of good metaphysical teachings and a lot of just stupid bullshit people put in. But anyhow, today's a day of salvation, meaning you don't put it off. Go ahead and take it, fulfillment right then. And Neville said, when you feel a desire, feel the fulfillment of it immediately. So, another example that I would like to give, because life is short. Don't waste your time. Spend your time, or waste your time or spend your time. Invest your time. Invest your thinking time, because all is in the mind anyway. You know, whether you think something is horrible or you think it's great, thinking makes it so. That's kind of a paraphrase of an old saying, and that's true. Because there's nothing but consciousness. If sex is great, it's in your mind. Sexuality, sex itself, the act of sex, the pleasure of it is in your mind. The pleasure of taste of food, the pleasure of sitting in a comfortable chair, the pleasure of a good warm bath, the pleasure of petting a pet, your dog, your cat, whatever. All of that is in the mind. It's all registered in the mind, consciousness. And I don't mean your physical brain, your nervous system. I'm talking about in your mind and consciousness itself. Your human brain and your human five senses, your sight, your hearing, your smell, your taste, your feeling, all that, that is simply your VR headset for this Matrix lucid dream video game you're playing as a human. People have already shown, it's already been proven over and over and over, even by nuclear physicists like Tom Campbell, who went out of his body and it's documented, went out of his body, and they proved that he went out of his body. He could go out of his body hundreds of times, documented, laboratory tests and experiments with the Monroe Institute. And he wrote the book, My Theory of Everything, or My Big Toe is the acronym. And he went out of his body numerous times. And people have had out-of-body experiences, and they proved that they were out of body because they could see things or knew things or heard things that were not even anywhere near where their physical body was. And Tom Campbell certainly did that, and many, many others. So you're nothing but consciousness, eternal consciousness. You're not the human character you're playing right now. But play this character to the hilt. Enjoy this character. Find what this character likes and what they don't like. If you like country music, you like classical music, you like rap, you like heavy metal, you like rock and roll, you like piano music, classical music, whatever it is that you like, foods that you like, whatever it is, whatever you like in the area of romance. And like for me, I discovered something that was always with me since I was a boy. And I finally realized that one of my preferences was, like some guys prefer blondes, I prefer brunettes. And so when I had made up my mind that I was going to be happily married with a woman that was right for me, just not her looks and her hair color, but her personality, one of the things was that she had to be a brunette. And I got me one, and we're celebrating our 9th anniversary. I just put up a video about our 9th anniversary together. Okay, matter of fact, you can be specific in things that you want in a spouse. Particular looks, if there's something that's important to you. If it's not important to you, just leave it out. Don't worry about it. For me, a brunette, certain personality things. I I want her to weigh less than me and be shorter than me and be younger than me and those type of things. And there were some personality traits that I had written down on paperwork that I wanted. And one woman talked about how she wrote down like 100 traits of a husband that she wanted. And 2 years later, met the man of her dreams and forgot about the list, totally forgot about the list. And they got married and everything. And then as they were moving, they were going to move to another house. She found her old list that she had written out on a notebook, on a yellow legal paper, 100 things on this paper, on a notepad. And she said he met all but maybe 2 of those things, and they were minor. So I wrote out less than a dozen things that were very important to me in attributes, not just looks, but in personality-wise, my wife, and she meets them to a T. I mean, it's a dream. So desire is only giving you, no matter how much detail you think, there's always going to be things that there's even more. So you're desiring something. Don't settle. Never settle, because that desire is telling you something very special about it. It's your higher mind, your spirit conscious self, telling your human brain. It also communicates through dreams, visions, things like that. Yes, your higher self can try to communicate to you through synchronicities and numbers like 22 and things like that, but don't get all wrapped up in that shit. Just understand it. Sometimes it would, because I've had dreams and I've had omens and things like that that did direct me properly. Just know that your higher self does communicate. But again, it's gently, very gently down the stream you're rowing, and merrily, merrily, merrily. Do it with a light heart, and don't try to force anything in life. And do it very, ease. Now, there was another thing I wanted to bring up. My wife and I watched this video of this. It was a wild rabbit out somewhere. I don't know if it was a game video camera caught it or something, but there was this wild rabbit. And it was in this kind of grass area, little field area, and it was eating. And a hawk come down and tried to get it. It's on YouTube. And a hawk come down and tried to get it. Now, I believe it was a deer that came up and seen that and got mad about it and ran towards that hawk and made that hawk drop that rabbit. Well, that rabbit was dropped, almost lost its life right there. And its deer buddy saved his life. I guess that deer didn't like to see anybody bullied. Like me, I don't like to, since I was a kid, I never liked to watch other kids or anybody getting bullied in life. But anyhow, so, and I will intervene if I can. So the rabbit hits the ground, runs off a little bit, and then it's sitting there, and all of a sudden it just shakes its fur, just like vibrates, like just shakes its fur, and then sits there for a second real still, and then just starts eating. And it goes back to eating. And my wife was really impressed with that, and so was I. And the idea is that rabbit shook off that stress and went right back to its life. Life is too short to stress over things. And you are going to have, in this human experience, you are going to have anger hit you, fear, worry, things like that. Negative thoughts, negative feelings are going to hit you, frustrations. Feel them. My wife and I express our frustrations to each other about things in life or whatever, in our day or during our day or something like that. We talk it out or whatever. We're life partners. That's what it's about, being life partners and best friends. Marry your best friends. That's the best advice I can give you. They got to be good looking to you. Looks matter, but and you want good sex and all the physical affection, all that kind of stuff. But marry your best friend. That's what matters. Most of the time, it's outside the bedroom, so you want to make sure that you have a good friend. And by the way, if it's your best friend, the sex is going to be awesome. I'm just telling you, I've learned that. So I've had failed relationships and marriages, and I learned if you want to be good for that person and you want to get the person that's good for you, you've got to be best friends. As well as there's got to be physical attraction. So, but anyhow, shake it off. Feel the feeling. Let it come through you. Don't feel like you got to not have negative thoughts. You can't have bad feelings or stress or frustration over money or some news you've heard or something like that. Feel it. Be a human. I'm all about it. To me, I believe in play the human part to the hilt. These so-called spiritually minded people that tell you you can't have hate in your heart. No, what that means is feel the hate, feel the rage, feel the desire for revenge. Okay? Let it come. but then don't hold on to it, or that can create, problems in your liver or your heart, or just make you stressed out mentally, right? And don't just go through the feeling of fear that hawk almost got you, or that stress has stressed you out, and then when you have a moment, shake it off. That's why a lot of people are big about meditating, is it gives you, if you meditate for, I don't know, 10 minutes or something like that, it helps you to just let things go. And if you're not into the whole meditating thing, well, there's different forms of meditating. You can meditate going down the walking down the sidewalk, just breathe, focus on your breathing. You can sit on your front porch and just, I don't know, watch the cars go by if you live in a neighborhood, if you live in the country. Look at the trees and watch the wind blow the leaves in the trees. Watch the birds fly in and out of the trees, the bugs fly around. Just basically like that. Sit by a river and watch the river flow, something like that. You can do that for a few minutes. That's meditating. That's calming the human brain. It's giving the human brain something. You can sit in your living room or your kitchen, listen to the dishwasher run, or the fan go, or something like that, and just kind of focus on that. It gives your human brain something to do. Because it's always going to have thoughts. It's always going to do things. Meditating is not about stopping thought. It's about calming it down so that your spirit can talk to you better, can really work to you. Because you're both spirit and human. You're eternal spirit, but the human character, it's your character, just like the character you would be playing if you were in a play, a Shakespeare play, or a character if you're on a TV show or an actor, or the character you're playing in a video game. If you play video games, that's your character. It is your character, but it's not the true you. The true you is consciousness, awareness. So, in this life, you want to row your boat gently down the stream. Don't force things. In this life, know that you are new in every moment. And every time you step in the river, you're stepping in a different river. Know that. Know that your time is finite. So don't waste your time. You can stress or get frustrated or worried. Just don't let it last. Let it come, let it go. Like when you're meditating, a thought will come, you just let it go. You don't try to stop thought, you just let it come and you go. Well, it's the same thing. And let it, a lot of people always have to pick up the phone and just, they're scrolling and they're looking at videos and doing this type of stuff or whatever, or texting or whatever they're doing. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, have time where you just don't pick up any your phone or anything, and it's okay to just stare off into space, to just relax the mind, because that's when the inspirations come. It's when the ideas come, and it slows down that momentum of the thinking brain, the human brain doing like, what about this? What about that? So live your life, enjoy it to the fullness, enjoy your carnal pleasures. Absolutely enjoy your carnal pleasures. People will tell you can't have meat, can't drink alcohol, can't smoke pot. You can only have sex, in a committed relationship. Hey, if you want to fornicate. I don't give a shit. Just make sure it's consenting adults, right? If they'll tell you, I don't know, you can't eat meat. All these stupid things. They'll tell you. One of my personal favorite things to hate, because I believe in you should hate too, is one of the personal things that I hate, because I think it's just so goddamn stupid, besides the you can't eat meat thing, you can't drink alcohol thing, is when men have sex, they can't ejaculate because they're ejaculating their spiritual essence. That's a bunch of stupidity. You are not your human body. You are not the human character. It is your character you're playing. It does belong to you, to your conscious awareness, to the spirit that you are. But you are not that. So when you're in this world, realize this is just a game, a lucid dream that God is dreaming, as Neville Goddard described it. It's God lucid dreaming through you. So when a desire comes upon you and it seems impossible, know that absolutely it is, because you can't desire a thing that's not already possible. So don't think there's anything can stop you. No hawk can grab you up and eat you. There will be a deer that will randomly run out of the woods and knock that hawk down. Always focus on what it is that you want to do and you enjoy. Enjoy every minute. Invest your time. Don't spend it and don't waste it. Instead, yes, you have your human life and you're going to have your ups and downs. You're going to have your sad times, things like that. You're going to have your frustrations and anger. But always know deep down, inside, you're an eternal spirit playing the character, and you awaken within the dream, as Manly P. Hall said. And as Joseph Campbell said, who was a professor of comparative religion and an author and a speaker about the different religions of the world, and he summed it all up as follow your bliss. That's your purpose in life. People say, what's my purpose in life? What am I here for? What's my destiny? What's my dharma? What am I supposed to do? Follow your blisses, and that will be the breadcrumbs to show you the great life that you can have. All right, I'm going to have to go in here and clock in. Okay, I'm here in Milorder, and it is our 15-minute break. I normally don't take my 15-minute breaks, probably about 2/3, sometimes maybe 3/4 of the time. We have two 15-minute breaks and a lunch break. I don't take them either so I can catch up or I can stay caught up. But anyhow, I'm not taking this one, obviously. Something that I want to also add is years ago there was an article titled "The Art of Not Giving a Fuck," and I think it's still on the internet. It was an internet blog article, and in that guy, he mirrored mine, and I'm sure a lot of guys and gals' ideas and life philosophy anyway, of just not giving a fuck about the things that you can't do anything about, or the things that just don't interest you, or you're not worried about, or you're not, you just don't give a shit about. But even back then, I still cared about a lot of things. I was worried about the economy, or a tyrannical government, or health, or my personal finances, or the economy, is that going to affect my finances, and all these type of things that quote, normal people think and worry about and give a fuck about. And my family and friends knew I was the kind of guy who I didn't give a fuck attitude. I had a I didn't give a fuck attitude, except for I still cared about all those type of things, right? And like I said earlier in this video, metaphysics has taught me how to really not give a fuck about things that don't matter. Abraham, that channeled energy or entity or consciousness stream that is channeled through Esther Hicks, says, it sounds like I'm telling you to be irresponsible, and I am. And what he means by that is being irresponsible in that don't worry about things that you don't have any idea how to fix or take care of or anything like that. You don't have to worry about it anymore. You also, one of the first things I learned when I was first really getting into metaphysics in 2016 was I was learning to not stress so much about personal finances. And to me, growing up, my parents and stuff, they didn't know no better. They wanted the best for me, and I learned also from their own stresses and stuff. And I never will forget the time my mother, I was about 15, 16 years old, and they were going through a little tight financial spot, and I seen my mother down the hallway. I could see her sitting in a chair, and she was crying. She was stressing over finances. And I remember I went back behind that wall, and I clenched my fists, and I swore an oath to myself that I would never strive to try to keep up with the Joneses, or try to keep up with what other people's standards were, and just be in debt and credit just so I could have this so-called middle class, upper middle class life, and all these type of things, right? Later on, Pantera came along with a song, and the lyrics are, somewhere back in teenage life, I swore I'd never submit to the ones I will not be like, I believe is how the lyrics go. And the thing of it is there's nothing wrong with people who like nice things, the so-called middle class dream and things like that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the rich people and their fancy dinnerware and their tables and their furniture and things like that. I've never seen anything wrong with that. I'm not jealous. I've never been jealous or envious or condemned anyone for being rich or super rich or anything like that. Being wealthy in itself, that's great. And, I have a video on my channel here titled, I Love Money. But I began to learn through metaphysics that I don't give a fuck. I can use it for a lot of things. I don't have to worry about or stress about things that I can't figure out or I can't force out, I can't do anything about. I don't have to worry. I don't have to live in fear. And I don't have to worry about what goes on out here. I used to listen to the radio, and even though I've always been an anarchist and anti-statist, I hated the fucking government, and I hated the mainstream media all my adult life, but I would still watch I would read all the magazine articles from Time Magazine, Newsweek. I would listen to all the talk shows. I would listen to the nightly news. I'd watch 60 Minutes and all these type of shows like that, the Sunday morning news shows, because I thought I had to keep an eye on what the media, the enemy propaganda machine was putting out there, and I had to, all these type of things that I used to think and concern about, the economy falling, blah, 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 tyrannical government, etc., etc. All those things. And now I've learned I don't have to worry about any of that. None of that has to be a reality for me. I don't have to worry about any of those things. Storms, earthquakes, all impending doom. I've been hearing that stuff since I was a boy, Southern Baptist boy, in the holiness world, and all these different Christian versions of Christianity that I went through. There would be these, concerns about this is going to happen or that's happening now, these conspiracies and things like that. And I realize now I don't have to worry about shit. I mean, I have my opinions, things, like about Donald Trump or the government or, whatever, or corporations, and I'll freely express those even here on YouTube. I got videos where I express my disdain, and because they're just so easy to hate, so fun to make fun of, and to point out the hypocrisies and things like that. But none of that has to be your reality. You don't have to worry about it. None of that's going to affect you unless you choose it to be so. So that sounds irresponsible. So what? That's the thing of this world, is you can live in fear and think that the physical reality is the objective reality, and actually it's not. The objective reality is consciousness itself. And like I said earlier, it's good to have a life partner, a spouse, that you can bounce ideas off of and even share your stresses and frustrations with. Well, I mean, with each other too, but I'm not talking about that. I mean, communication is key in any kind of relationship, whether it's with your neighbor, your parents and children, your relatives, your friends, your co-workers, your supervisor, or your employees. Communication is everything. But with your partner, you not only communicate, hey, something you have with each other, openly talk to one another. But I wasn't talking about that in this video. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you could share your frustrations with each other and blow your steam off with each other. It's nice to have a sounding board. You can get that out. It's kind of like that rabbit shaking off the stress. Is you can share that with your spouse, and a lot of times your spouse is going to have empathy, understand your situation, or point out, if it's a loving spouse, might point out, well, you might need to reconsider that. Maybe you're the one that's wrong in that situation, or you're looking at it wrongly, right? But a good spouse, a good life partner, or even just a good friend or a loving relative is going to always pick you up and tell you the positive things, not just to blow smoke up your ass, but they're going to try to help you, and you try to do the same with them, right? Help them with ideas, or at least encouragement, or a pat on the back, or a hug, or whatever. So it's good to have a life partner, and my wife is that for me, right? Someone you can express your frustrations with, like here at work, or whatever. Blow off the steam, because sometimes that's where the mind, consciousness, the all, spirit, God, whatever, is actually going to have you talk to that person. You express that, because in doing so, that's a bridge of incident, as Neville Goddard talked about, things leading to things manifesting for you, as there'll be bridges of incident. Is those bridges of incident, it may be things you don't even expect, right? You might find your dream job or dream house or the car you're looking for simply by taking the wrong turn. You may in traffic, people may be real slow and frustrating you, and you want to road rage, you get frustrated, but then all of a sudden you're glad that you did get slowed down, because right ahead was a horrible wreck that just happened, right? So those are the things through life, to allow life to flow. This is where the Tao Te Ching talks about Wu Wei, which is effortless action. It's action, but it's effortless. The Hermetic mysticism talks about flow, flowing through life. Rowing your boat gently down the stream. That gentle concentration and focus. But you don't have to force anything. You don't have to force positive thoughts. So if you have negative thoughts about something you want, or something that's going on in your life, or something that you want to manifest, or something that's going on right now, let those thoughts come and go. And if you feel emotion, just let it go. Like the rabbit, you feel the fear, but then you shake it off. But if you hold it in, all you're going to do is just make yourself miserable. You're going to end up being in the wrong state of mind, and things are just going to continue to be negative and manifest that day. You wake up the wrong side of the bed and you have a negative, state of mind. The whole day is going to be shitty. Never tell yourself my day is going to be shitty, or my life sucks, or never say that stuff. At least don't say it, like you really mean it. I mean, it's okay to joke. Some people think you can't even joke. Some people think you can't watch violence in movies or horror movies, or listen to heavy metal like I do, or something like that, because we can't have any. Again, it's not religious crap. But the whole idea of not giving a fuck and the art of not giving a fuck is realizing that if you don't like how something is, simply finding out what you don't like is helping you to find what you do like. That's the part of this contrast, the two ends of the stick in this life. It's awesome as shit. And you're here just to choose and experience. You get to choose what you experience. That's everyone's life purpose, to choose what they want to experience. And you may say, well, what should I choose? No. What do you desire? What you desire, choose your desires to be real. When you choose them to be real now, just feel the fulfillment of it. No matter what physically going on, your bank account, the doctor's report, whatever's going on right now, you kind of have a bad relationship with a spouse or someone right now, well, just don't feed that stuff. Just set it aside and say, I'm just going to choose that this works out well. Always choose out things that choose that your life, everything is always going well for you, right? All right, when I make these videos, I'm very subconscious of my teeth, where they have broken out the last few years. My teeth just have broken. My molars are broken. There's certain foods I can't eat and chew anymore. And I'm very subconscious of that. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to be myself. And people that are enjoying what I'm talking about or whatever, they don't give a shit. I mean, but I don't like how my teeth look, right? I don't mind tattoos. I don't mind piercings. I love all that stuff. I love my beard, love my hair. My wife loves my beard. She's the one that braids it for me and braids my hair and all that for me. And she does my nails, what she needs to do them again, that's just, I like the aesthetic. I don't care what other people think about my jewelry or my appearance, except for my teeth. That's something I don't like. I love everything else. The jewelry, the tattoos, the painted nails, all that kind of stuff. I love all that stuff. Piercings, I love all that shit. The clothes I wear when I'm not wearing my uniform like here at work, the clothes that I prefer to wear, things like that. I don't give a shit what people think of me, right? Except for I don't like these teeth. So I'm subconscious of how they look. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll get dentures. At some point, I'll get around to getting dentures. I'll just have to get them all yanked. Like I said, the molars, these bottom teeth are okay. They're kind of breaking. The top fronts right here all broke except for this one snaggle tooth. And then most of my molars are broken and busted. I don't know what the deal is with that. But anyhow, it's like I chewed a bunch of rocks or something, gravel. Anyhow, I'm conscious of that. And I'm conscious of how my voice sounds because I don't have all my front teeth and all that kind of shit. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to be myself. This is my true self, whether I have good teeth or not, or have dentures or not. And I just want to share myself, but at the same time, I just make these videos because I like to make the notes of the things that I'm thinking of or what I'm thinking about, whether it's metaphysics or I'm making fun of something in the government or, corporations or just making funny, goofy, silly videos or whatever, sarcastic videos, things like that. I like doing all that kind of shit. So being your true self is also not giving a fuck what other people think of you. And it's not your business what other people think of you anyway. You need to live your life. You're the only one in your universe. I got a video on here titled something like Manifesting Satanic Selfishness. And it's being selfish, be self-centered. You are the center of your world. You are the center of your universe. And it's not about when I quoted that about being irresponsible, it's about not worrying about being responsible for what goes on out here in the world, but be responsible for what you're focusing on, your consciousness, what you're saying is true for you. Real quick, like I say in my videos, and the good teachers, I'm just me doing videos. I don't claim to be a manifesting coach. I don't claim to be an expert on anything. I'm just living my life having fun. But if you want things to manifest, make your decision, and it doesn't matter what's going on in the physical. Say, no, I've already decided I have the money to pay this bill. I have the money to make this trip. I have the good health. My body feels good. No matter what is physically going on right now, no matter what the doctors report, the bank report, no matter what your body feels, no matter what thoughts and feelings, emotions that come and go, because you're not your thoughts and feelings. You are what you choose to be aware of. So if you're aware of you've made a choice, make your fucking choices and don't give a fuck about anything else, because remember you die. Remember death. Memento Mori. Focus on the things that you want to see manifest and experience in this life. And in the meantime, while they haven't manifested, or something's going on right now at the moment you don't care for or whatever, don't give a fuck about it. Just go through that experience. Don't resist it. Don't fight it. just know that in the back of your mind, your third eye is focused on what you say is real and what is to manifest for you, and just feel like it's already a done deal. And I'm telling you, sometimes the last fucking minute, man, shit manifests or happens. Always happen in the perfect way for you. You don't know the way, and at the perfect timing, you don't know the timing. All right, I'm gonna end this video here, get it all edited together and uploaded. And to my wife, who I know watches my videos, she's my #1 fan. I am absolutely her #1 fan. I love you, babe.